This project's coming real fast, and honestly, it's been a long few days for me, but we're on a very tight timeline, so we're about to get this done. Now, this custom turf piece that we're painting is going to be sitting in the lobby of a Four Seasons hotel in San Francisco, I believe. Now, the Super Bowl's up in San Fran, so people that are going to be going to the game are going to be staying there, I'm sure. Now, we need to make this thing look very nice, and between blowing out half the electricity in my house, trying to make the stencil, to some logistical nightmares, we're getting it done. And we're going to go paint it today. So let me get this guy off me so we can go do that.
So I start off by cutting off the stencil material, just get what I need. I measure out the wall, see exactly where everything's gonna go, and that's where I first messed up with the outlet. I had the tape measure slip off and hit something that was loosely hanging into the outlet. Sparks flew everywhere, lost electricity, had to fix it, but I got the stencil done. So I'm tracing the entire logo, and then after that, we are gonna head to the storage. It's the day of the paint now. I'm getting everything that I need. Just gonna load up the truck, and then on our way we go. Now that we're at the job site, we are cutting off the roll of turf. It was all rolled up right there. We're getting it all spread out. Then we start doing our measurements, and then we can really just start working. Paint's finally on the turf. We got everything measured out. Really, this is the easiest part. We're just gotta go execute the thing that we know how to do best. And is my favorite part, because this is where the turf really transforms. We got all the white down. Now it's time for us to cut the holes out of the stencil. This really doesn't take that long, especially with two people. So then once we get this done, we're gonna put it on the turf right here and then get to painting. Now that we got that stencil painted, we take it off and you see a bunch of dots, but it's gonna come together real quick once we start painting. The last thing we had to do for day one of this paint job is to make these numbers. Now, we had to do it on the spot because, like I said, it was a rush job, it was custom size, and we didn't have any pre-made stencils for these numbers. So we had to make them right then and there, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a little bit of a challenge because of how small they are, but we made it work. All we had to do was a 1, 2, and 0, so this is how I did it, just on this stencil material right here. Day one is officially a wrap. Now let's get on to day two, where we're gonna paint this end zone all black.
Step one of doing the end zone, I'm gonna be tracing the outside of the logo.
Step 2 of doing the end zone, I'm going to be going right up against the outside. Now I have this board so I don't get any paint into the white, and it can look like a very crisp and clean edge. Now that I outlined the logo and I did the outside of the end zone, I'm just going to start filling everything in from here. Now I know it looks a little messy with all these markings all over the place, but it's going to get covered up real nice. You'll see. Now I did get a little bit of black into the white part of the logo, but no big deal because I just use that white paint. I rub it in with my hand and just make it start to blend in, and once it dries, it's like nothing ever happened. Then I clean up the extra paint that splattered everywhere else, and then we're pretty much done with this project. I mean, look at that. We worked on a very tight timeline for this one, but you know the goal's always the same. It's to build something very clean and professional, and in this case, something that could live in a very high-end space for Super Bowl week. So, I mean, projects come together pretty fast sometimes, but we make it work and we deliver. So, I'm glad that we were able to make this one happen. This was a fun one. As stressful as it was, I almost burned down my house, but we made it work.